The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Al Young Show. And with me is my favorite co-host, Denise, and she's been gone for a while, and finally she's back.
Yes, there are other parts of the state that would like to see me, and I have to bless them with my, beautiful smile.
Okay.
But it's good to be back. To my audience out there, truly I miss being with Al.
And you know what? Today, Carl, he won't be with us today, but we look forward to having him next week. And,
yes.
It's kind of like my two favorite co-hosts are here, there, and all over the place. And Carl's a very busy guy also. So, it's great to have you back. And, I guess next week we'll try to do it as a threesome here. Okay?
And, you have to be careful how you say things.
Oh, God, no.
But
anyway, the thing I'm looking at is, listen, it's great to be back in Florida. You were in New York for a while, right?
Yes, and the weather's changing. And then I went to Virginia. The weather's changing, Fort Jackson. So I've been doing a little bit of, traveling.
And today, I know it's kind of balmy here. What is it? 82, right?
Yes.
Yeah, God, I got on my thermal short sleeve shirt.
It wasn't so. I was in Virginia last week, and it was a little chilly up there. I want to say about 67 degrees.
Well, you know what? I think that's one thing I like about being in Florida. It's always just really great. And the way the weather's been going all over the country these days, and now we got tornadoes, and it's we like to joke about a lot of things, but unfortunately, recently there's been a lot of destruction, especially with those states hit by the tornadoes.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to Florida, that was the one thing that everybody was telling me about. Be very careful because, hey, you're going someplace where there's hurricanes and everything else. So that was leaving New York. And then since I've been gone, I think when I first got here, though, I ran into, 3 hurricanes, one behind the other. And that was in 2004. But since then, the weather's been pretty good. I think everybody else has been getting it. So I guess you want to say let's knock on wood, but at the same time, whenever there's tragedy, we always feel bad, and all we can do is, say our hearts go out to those who have had any type of tragedy in their lives due to the weather.
Right, and we truly just want to let the National Guards know they're doing a fantastic job with just aiding those family members that, have lost loved ones, households, or properties. They're doing a fantastic job, so we really want to thank them for their service. Continue to do good work. But while we're talking about, just doing a good work and the good deeds that the National Guard are doing, we also want to talk about our veterans out there that are making false claim. And this was in yesterday's Tampa Bay Times, and it was striking to me because it made the front page. The title was for benefits, military vets cross the line.
Well, when you kind of look at it, though, some of us are struggling so hard to get benefits. Then it's like anything, though, in life. There are people who are wanting, it's like being wealthy. Mm-hmm. There are so many people trying to be wealthy, and so many people who are working so hard just to make ends meet. Right. Then there are those who, once they get the wealth, they abuse it. They abuse things by being fraudulent with all the information that they put in and all the things that they do, and then it just hurts everybody.
Yes, because, and I just want to just talk a little bit about it, because there are veterans out there that truly have a legitimate claim. You injured yourself, you're injured. And we want you to put in a claim. But there are veterans out there that are exaggerating to the point where it's bringing light to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, we have people out there who always want to, well, they're going to always want to do something more, and drain the system for every penny. How is it that you have one person who is claiming to be wheelchair bound and everything else, and then they're teaching a
martial arts? It's not making sense. And when you think about it, just think about sense from nonsense. You are injured and you cannot function or do your daily functions without the aid of someone else to the part where you're wheelchair bound. And that really happens to some of our veterans. But you can't say that you're wheelchair bound and then the next breath you're teaching martial arts. The two don't add up.
Well, you know what? But listen, again, look at where we live, and look how, when I say where we live, in the time where we're living today, there's everybody with a camera. If you got a cell phone, 90% of those people who have cell phones have cameras.
Yes.
And those cameras take pictures of everybody. There are people who, and this is the other thing. When we least expect it, people are always watching us. And you don't know who's a veteran because everybody doesn't run around with a veteran that says veteran. So they see things, they know abuses, and they're saying, you know what, so many veterans out there trying to get certain things, and then you're going to abuse the system, and it's not fair. So it's not going to happen. When I was in New York and I worked for the state as an unemployment insurance investigator, their whole thing was it was family members turning people in. It was other people turning people in for doing the things that were improper. So what you look at here is there are other veterans, and when there are guys on the corner collecting for veterans organizations, and they're not even veterans, or they're collecting for some group, and there is no group. There is no nothing but that person collecting. All these things come to light after a while. I mean, you can only get away with so much, and then you're caught. And listen, it's sort of like Social Security scams. Remember when people were taking pictures of people doing the same thing like the veterans are doing right now, and then they turn them in. You just can't get away with it. You might get away with it for a while, but remember, everything catches up with you after a while.
Right. So I say to the veterans out there, if you have a legitimate claim, go ahead to your local VA hospital and be seen. But for the people that are out there exaggerating the claims, the eyes are always watching. So you need to be more conscious that, you know what? You can't claim,
but
an injury that's not really an injury.
Well, you know what? A lot of them have legitimate injuries, but then it's a matter of I have a legitimate injury, but then I'm going to go and be super extra greedy on everything. I can walk, and I'm claiming I can't walk, and then I can teach somebody something, or I can do something. I'm a carpenter, and I'm saying that I can't hold a hammer. But every day I'm out there on top of a roof or a building or something, and I'm using all the skills that I need as a carpenter. So how do you do that? If you're going to say, okay, I went to a war zone, this happened to me, that happened to me, and then you come home and, doggone well, nothing happened to you, but you're going to claim it and then still go out there and work or do something. So it's strange how we look at life.
Right.
There's always somebody, look at the Bernie Madoffs in the world, in either one way or another, hey, it's a scam or a scheme that I'm going to do to get something more than I should.
Yeah. So Enough said on that. I just want to let my veterans know that all eyes are watching.
Well, again, I know we should make this short, but listen, these people are not hurting just themselves.
They're hurting their fellow veterans.
They're hurting everybody. They make a mockery of the system. There are so many people out there that we're always trying to get to go and do something. Hey, listen. Go to the VA, go here, go there, go to whatever organizations, make a claim. All the guys who really need it and females, because whenever I say guys, listen, that's all inclusive. It's just a matter of people not wanting to deal with the system taking too long. They can't get the things that they need when they want it. But then when people are out there working so hard to get everything fixed, you have this.
Well,
and how many people was it actually?
Well, it just didn't happen here in Tampa.
No, but I'm saying altogether it was what?
Well, no, there's 199 stolen cases. Open cases,
right? Yeah.
Open cases out there that are being investigated by the Inspector General's office. So far, 144 people have been arrested. So they're really cracking down on waste, fraud, and abuse. But the highest amount paid out thus far, one person collected in unemployability $205,402. That's a lot of money.
God.
That's a lot of money. So I say to my veterans, they're not taking this lightly. And it's a federal crime. So you're going to be prosecuted.
I just think that, if you're saying you can't walk and you're in a wheelchair, and then as soon as you leave the VA, you're out of that wheelchair, not only are you walking, but you're jogging.
No, but you're teaching.
Well, you know what? I don't think.
So we have to be careful of, the false claims that you're making because you're being watched.
Well, I think they're just hurting other veterans because the system is slow to begin with, and this is going to slow it down even more because now it's, hey, listen, let's scrutinize everything even more. Let's do this, let's do that. And what's already a system that's kind of running on molasses time, now it's going to get even worse.
Yeah, because according to the Tampa Times, since year 2000, over 51,000 American service members have been wounded in action.
And these are the people who should be, you know what, listen, I know this is kind of a very strange little topic, but let's think about this. There are those who get wounded and they deserve everything that they get. There are people in the military who things happen to, they deserve what they get. So, but it makes it even worse when you have a combat individual who gets really hurt, whose life is totally changed, and then there's someone else out there perpetrating the fact that, oh, I'm in the same category,
right.
And then they're making tons of money at doing it, and then other people are catching all kinds of craziness trying to at least get there. And I know we should get off of this, but I just think it's so wrong when the system is so slow in trying to get things,
yes.
And people are wondering, well, gee, I put it in and it's taken forever to get it.
Well, one thing that's happening now, and we were getting off the subject of, putting in false claims, there are also veterans that are at the hospital that their identity are being stolen.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's another thing. Veterans are out there just, in the hospital, in the recovery state, and their identity are being stolen.
I don't think people feel sorry for anyone because, listen, if you're a person who is out there and your whole thing is to get over in life and it doesn't really matter how you get over, then be it wounded soldier, be it President of the United States, they don't care. Because, I'm surprised, when it comes down to the president, somebody hasn't tried to scam something where they got his identity going.
Well, they didn't scam his identity, but remember when he first got in the office some years ago, a Verizon employee called his cell phone. How'd you get the president's cell phone? He worked there, so they immediately, no one is exempt. from identity theft. Please do not be naive about that. Anyone can be subjected to identity theft. So whether you be the president or a veteran in the hospital, if they want your identity and it's accessible to them,
the VA is taking a big step in that because on the new ID cards, they're making sure that there are no Social Security numbers.
Yes.
So that's something else that a lot of people aren't even aware of. But at the same time, the VA and the government itself is running around and they're trying to correct a lot of things. This is a part of it. Looking out for veterans' well-being as far as their identity is concerned is another thing. That's why there's such a big change, which I think is great. Well, what we're going to do is, we're going to probably take a, we should take a break. But you know what I think? I think this week we're just going to have a short show this week. So I think what we'll do is we've talked about what we need to talk about.
Yes, it's very important. So again, while we're wrapping it up for the day, I encourage our veterans that are truly injured, please go to your local VA office, go to your local chapter, DAV, VFW, American Legion office. Put in that claim because you earn the right, you are injured, and you want to be seen for that. But do not, at the same time, put in for apples when you really want oranges. You can't claim an injury that I lost my eye, but I'm going skiing and I'm wearing, doing all this stuff. Well, how are you seeing? Or I'm injured to the point where I need aid to get around, but I'm just going to go roller skating and I'm going to teach martial arts and do all this other fancy stuff.
What it comes down to is, listen, when you least expect people watching you, they're watching you. And the thing is, you just can't get over on the system. You may get over on it for a while, but it won't continue because people are realizing this is abuse of the system.
Waste, fraud, and abuse. And like my daughter was saying, Mom, Big Brother is watching. Big Brother is always watching. But until then, please go ahead and put your claims in. To all my veterans out there, I want to thank you for the job you've done. And for the National Guard that are aiding our tornado families, thank you for your service.
Well, you know what? When you look at the National Guard and the Army Reserves, they're always out there. And, I will say one thing. You let a national tragedy come, the Guard is there in a heartbeat. Yes. And, we always have to take our hats off to those guys. So until next week, hey, have a good one.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.